ano ba yung mga pros and cons of buying a second-hand car?
For me talaga, sa pros muna tayo. For the pros, obviously, lower cost talaga. Like the lower prices, you typically get a great deal. And then the cars naman kasi for the second hand, especially repossessed, they're typically new. Kasi like, 'di ba, in the beginning of the Facebook Live, people were saying they had their loan for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. So that's really just the typical loan length of buying a car. So you can be assured that the car you're buying in a repossessed or from a bank, they're typically new, 2 to 5 years old pa lang. So they're kind of new and in good condition. Of course, there are some exemptions. There are mga cars na get totally crashed, diba? Sira talaga. So there are some exemptions naman. So that's why you have to do your due diligence. And then another pro is that you get to deal with trustworthy sellers. You're dealing with banks. They're not gonna run away from you. They are financial institutions that have they have to uphold kasi their status, diba? Their and then next is a lot of banks, like I mentioned, offer na talaga easy financing options for second-hand cars. Yeah.
For second-hand cars. So yun naman yung mga nakukuha natin, no? Pero ano ba yung mga ano yung mga expenses involved to bring your second-hand car back to life, so to speak? Ano yung mga, baka yun lang bang pagbili yung gagastusin mo o meron pang iba?
Okay, for the second-hand cars, like I said kasi earlier, you typically get good condition, pero hindi assured. The bank will not assure you that it's in good condition, that wala talagang masisira, because they don't know also how the previous owner maintained it. So here are some repairs, or here are some expenses that you will be spending for. I typically, I actually spent for all of these car ko, no? I had some minor repairs, like mga busted na lamp sa car, and then so basic maintenance, you know, the oil of the car, and then the ano ba yun, mga liquids ng car. So also I had to buy a new battery kasi the battery of the when it was in the warehouse was sira talaga, like it was dead, hindi sira, but it was already dead kasi batteries, if you leave them out for long not being used, diba, they get drained. So I also had to buy new sets of wheels because parang sobrang used up na talaga yung wheels sa front ng cars ko. So I only bought 2 naman. Pina-exchange, yeah. So I only bought 2, and then alignment din. So those are very technical na, pero yeah, you let the car shop do those things na lang.
So, mga magkano yung kailangang i-prepare for this, no? Yung additional na, bringing it back to life, kumbaga?
I feel like it really depends. I personally spent around 20,000 for it. It's not the same every time kasi, for example, my car had a very few minor dents lang. Pero I didn't feel like I had to get them into the car shop anymore. Kasi ang liit lang talaga nila. Pero if you're really OC and you wanted to make it brand new, then you would have spent around more than, around plus 10,000 more than what I did. So it would have been 30,000, di ba? So it really depends. May iba 50,000, may iba 10,000 lang. Kasi like bago ko lang talaga na, it was, let's say, it just came in last week, di ba? So the battery is good pa, it's clean pa, di ba? Everything. So it really depends talaga, yeah.
Tapos may yung temptation pa ng iba kasi, lalo na yung iba, no? Marang dinidress up nila yung car nila. Ako, I personally find it baduy. So, additional na ilalagay mo, additional na gastos.
Yeah,
it's just my case. No? Mas gusto ko pa yung simple lang. So, doon naman tayo, no, sa cons ng buying a car. So, what are the disadvantages?
Yeah. To add lang din with what you said.
Sorry, second-hand car pala.
Yeah. To add lang din, mostly cars actually maintain more value if you don't pimp your ride. Kasi like the next owner kasi might not like them, and it's useless for them to add all those things when they didn't really ask for it. So I had my 25-year-old car, I kept it stock, like parang stock is meaning like ano yung bigay ng all Toyota branded, yung Pisa and everything, then it didn't maintain the value per se. Pero we still got to sell it at a really good price for a
Right.
25-year-old car. So, yeah.
Oo.
So, for
Actually,
the
yung
cons,
Toyota, magandang resale value ng Toyota sa experience din namin.
yeah, actually, like reliable kasi for us, for most people. But yeah, for the cons naman for buying a second-hand car, like I said earlier, more effort talaga siya in terms of research. So, you have to be patient. But if you're saving 100,000, 150,000, di ba? Ano yung patient? Parang I think pwede na yun for your patience. So, yeah. And then also,
Ayun.
like I said earlier, yung condition, it's not assured talaga 100%. So, yeah.
Pero pwede ba yun isauli kung kunwari nung binili mo from the second hand, no? Tapos nakita mo na hindi na pala talaga gumagana yung makina nito. Pwede ba yung o no return no exchange policy sila?
No, hindi pwede. That's why I really recommend na you bring a mechanic because they know, they can already see if there's really something wrong na internally, ganon, or ang laki ng magagastos mo if you try to revive it or to make it look brand new. So,
Correct.
yeah.
So mga magkano yung iba-budget namin for the mechanic na sasama? Kasi wala kaming kaibigan. Mga magkano kaya?
Yeah. Maybe 500 to 1,000 per visit. Kasi you also, most of the time, you take up his whole day din, di ba? So, yeah. So, it depends lang. If 1 hour lang kayo, or like, ganon. So, I think it depends also with the mechanic. If he's with a, social na company, medyo mahal siguro. Or, yeah.
Pero ano naman ang masasabi mo? Kasi sa ito naman yung mga mga mapamahiin kong mga kaibigan. So I have all sorts of friends. So may mga ganyan na mga practical. Tapos meron naman yung mga mapamahiin, sasabihin nila na, naku, huwag kang bibili ng second hand kasi may bad, may bad
juju.
aura na siya. Oo, parang ganyan. So anong sinasagot mo sa mga yan? Or have you ever experienced na sinabihan ka na ganyan?
Well, I don't know. Because kami Chinese kami, ang dami naming pamahiin, diba? Pero like, personally, my family doesn't have a problem with buying second-hand cars. I think as being Chinese, we're very frugal as well. So, doon talaga kami sa cheaper option. So, yeah, I don't know. For me, practicality na din kasi. Like, there are so many pamahiin na it came from the olden times na hindi na applicable ngayon. So, parang, yeah, it really depends on your values din. So,
right. But you know what I tell them? Parang you make your own destiny. Parang ako, I really want to transform challenges into opportunities, ganyan. So ito baka may nagkamalas siya kanya or pero ako ang kanyang magiging star, no? Para mag-brighten yung kanyang aura or something. Anyway, so balik ta rin naman natin ngayon, So I know that you're very experienced in buying yung second-hand car. So gumawa ako ng listahan ng rules when buying a car. So tell me whether you agree or disagree dito sa mga ginawa ko, no? So the first one is buy second-hand car. So yan yung ating first rule. So of course, I assume na agree ka dito.
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
So yan. Kasi sabi nga natin, yun nga, kasi napakabilis siya mag-depreciate, hindi siya appreciating asset. And yun, the moment you drive it out of the lot, ay 10% na agad yung natatanggal. Okay. And then the second rule for me is save and pay in cash. So ang message ko dito is iwasan natin na bumili tayo gamit ang loan kasi dadagdag pa yung interest at typically kasi kapag second hand nga mas mataas pa yung interest na nababayaran mo. So what do you think of this rule?
Ako, for me, I would disagree. Pero not completely naman. Not completely. I think it depends if you have better use for the money. And basta it's an investment vehicle naman na grows more than your loan, then it's okay. Like in my case, like I got to borrow money that was really maliit yung interest, diba? And I invested the money na lang so that it would grow more. So I still profited a little bit, but I know not all of us can, find an opportunity like that. So yeah, better to pay in cash if ganon. So,
Right.
somewhat
So,
agree and disagree.
so save and pay in cash, pero tama ka talaga namang may instances talaga na kailangan natin kumuha ng loan. So if you're getting a loan for it, you should already be able to save an equal amount to the car amortization. So which means, so as much as possible, you save for it para mabili mo siya in cash. Pero kung hindi mo talaga kaya, dapat ay nakapag-practice ka na yung amortization na inihuhulog mo ay kaya mo talagang i-save at kaya mong bayaran para pag the time na nakuha mo yung loan na yan, sure na sure ka, hindi yung maninibago ka na, uy, ano pala, no, may babayaran pala na amortization. So what do you think of this one?
Yes, I agree with that. I actually think na if you have a loan, it should be part of your 3 to 6 months emergency fund. So, di ba? Yeah. So, since monthly recurring expenses yun na you can't really get out of, di ba? So, actually nga, for me, I believe you need at least 1 year saved up of that loan. So that if something happens, especially during this pandemic, di ba? Like, it's been already 5-6 months, di ba? So, if you, sadly, di ba, if you didn't get to pay for it, na re-repossess na talaga ng bank. So it's better if you have at least 1 year of that amount saved up para covered ka pa rin.
That's a good tip, no. Kapag ilo-loan mo, talagang ang dapat meron ka ng 1 year, no. Pag second-hand car ba from the bank, do they require na may down payment? Siguro very little lang, no. Baka 5 or 10% lang yung kukunin nila.
I think if you get a typical loan, I think it's still 20% ata.
20% pa din.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. Pero the car cost is cheaper na kasi, so it comes out cheaper.
And then you said a while ago na you opted for buying the second-hand car because yung na-save mo na amount is actually you're going to use that amount to address a certain financial goal. So ang sabi ko dito sa next rule ko ay yung masisave mo na money, no, you have to invest that towards your financial goal. So meaning hindi mo talaga kinukuha yung sasakyan as a mere status symbol, pero talagang practical ka and you're using it as a need. And kapag ito ay ngayon, 1 million yung sasakyan, tapos yung nabili mo ay 750, hindi ibig sabihin na yung 250,000 ay you're free to splurge on that. You should have a very, very strong purpose para doon mo ilagay. So in your case, that was the condominium. So, na-capture ba yung essence dyan?
Yes. I did that exactly. So I agree with that completely.
Kaya nga ako tuwang-tuwa kasi nung nakita ko yung yung video mo, sabi ko nako, this person really knows what she wants. Very clear yung objectives, no? At yun yung lagi kong sinasabi when people come to me and ask for advice, sabi ko, ang sasabihin nila, ano ba daw magandang investment? As lagi kong sinasabi, I cannot answer that question until I know what your financial goals are or ano yung objectives mo. Kasi hindi pwedeng pare-pareho. Para akong doktor na nagbigay sa'yo ng gamot pero hindi kita chinek up. Diba?
Yeah.
So, yun. Anyway, tapos may 2 uses kasi yung car, diba? Meron tayong business use and personal use. So kapag business use ito, the business income should be able to cover the cost of the car. So that's another rule. Okay ba yan?
Yes, I agree.
Okay, sige, very straightforward. And then the other one is for personal use naman, it should be the amount that you're paying for your amortization should be the same as when you are using the public transportation. So medyo sasabihin ng iba dito, grabe naman, imposible yan, no? Kasi magkano lang yung jeep? 10 piso, ganyan, di ba? Magkano bang jeep ngayon? 10 pesos ba? Or 8 pesos pa rin?
8 ata?
8 pesos. O 8 pesos yung pagbaba yung sa jeep. So it will never amount to that, ano? So sabi ko, kung ganon yung sitwasyon, baka naman marami kayo sa bahay, so pwedeng pagsamasamahin yun. Pero kung hindi pa rin kaya, then you should create your passive income first that will be able to create the income to pay for the car. Kasi para sa akin, ang tingin ko nga ay, alam mo, kung uunahin mo yung comfort, bago ka mag-invest at bago ka mag-create ng passive income, then you will be used to that lifestyle at hindi mo mamamaster ang expenditures. Kaya for me, yun talaga yung sa akin. So, bago magkaroon ng sasakyan, pero kung kaya mo pa namang mag-commute at mamasahe, no, gumamit ng public transportation, create muna ng passive income. Tapos pag meron ka ng passive income, that's the one that you use for the purchase of the car. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I agree because this is what I always say, no, with like because you mentioned lifestyle inflation na yan, 'di ba? Like before okay lang tayo sa jeep, tapos taxi, tapos own car na. That's lifestyle inflation. For me naman, what I always say about lifestyle inflation is there's no problem with it because we really have to improve our lifestyle. That's human nature to want to improve. But
Yes.
There's a difference between getting broke just to achieve the lifestyle you want, or you
Correct.
can really truly afford it. Meaning, okay, dami mo ng extrang pera na pwede mo ibili ng kotse. That's no problem talaga. So,
Right.
yeah, I agree.
Okay, so thank you very much, Charm. No, nako, nag-enjoy ako talaga sa at marami akong natutunan. And finally, I don't know if you've already heard this, but this is the tagline that I used to end my show. Ito siya, no? Ang pagyaman na pag-aaralan. What do you think of that?
Yes, I agree. Financial literacy.
Paano yan sa Bisaya? Paano pala yan sabihin sa Bisaya?
Ito to,
Ang pagyaman na pag-aaralan.
Ang pagdato kay makatunan ra. I think I sound so
Okay.
weird.
Ayun, sige. So nako, maraming salamat sa iyo, Charm, at I think marami talaga tayong natutunan sa episode natin na to, no? And if people would like to get in touch with you, how do they get in touch with you? What are your YouTube channels? Baka meron kang product or service na gustong i-promote?
Yeah, so basically, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Facebook group, all across the board. You can follow me at Ready to Adult PH. So that's Ready number 2, Adult PH. So yeah, I talk about financial literacy, entrepreneurship, and other adulting how-tos. So yeah.
Okay.
That's
So, thank you very much for that. At yun, sana sa susunod mag-collaborate ulit tayo. So, ako, I'm more than willing to go to your channel also. Tapos, tignan natin how we can do this together. At ako, very, very close talaga sa akin ang Mindanao at saka Visayas area. Ewan ko kung bakit, no? But I earned a lot of my wealth actually from the South. So, I think my luck is in the South.
Your heart.
And, ayun. So, maraming salamat sa iyo, Charm, at sana ay dumami pa ang mga katulad mo kasi marami talaga mga kabataan ang dapat maging katulad mo at marami ka pang ma-inspire at matulungan. So, thank you very much and amping sa inyo.
This was very fun. Thank you for having me.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So mga kaibigan, nakita natin si Charm, no, na napaka-practical na bata, napaka-inspiring, no, at marami tayong natutunan sa kanya. So, i-follow nyo siya, puntahan nyo, so Ready to Adult PH sa YouTube, at I think meron din siyang Facebook, ano. May mga mga tanong, ay mag-shoutout muna tayo para sa mga gustong magpa-shoutout. Si Leonie, watching from Macau, si Jamie Malaysia, hello sa'yo. Si Einstein ay na-late daw. It's never too late. Einstein. Uy, si Einstein ulit. Nanonood ang mga nagmamahal sa'yo service. Yes. Thank you very much. I feel the love. Okay. Ano pa ba? Sino pa ba to? I like the idea. Si Cornelia. Thank you to you both daw. Sa Saudi Arabia naman, hindi ko makita kung anong pangalan niya, nasa Facebook group yan siya. Si Jet Rodriguez is saying na utang is utang. If you have a paid off house, will you take a loan against your home and invest it? Okay, hindi ko alam kung nagtatanong ka or you're making a statement, pero ako rin, I don't like to use the house as a collateral. So make use of another asset. So, kay Ricardo, saying hello from Cavite. Si Chris ay nag-iipon na ngayon para makabili ng second-hand na car. For what purpose, Chris? Sana mas maganda kung ito talaga ay gagamitin natin para sa kumikitang bagay. Ano pa ba yung mga comments nyo? Sir Vince, plano ko daw bumili ng second-hand car, sabi ni May. Na delivery truck para panghakot ng palay. Alin po kaya mas maganda? Brand new na worth million o yung second hand na hindi pa masyado gamit? Okay. Based sa experience ng namin, because I work with the agricultural sector also. At meron din kaming trucking business before, and I understand ang parents ko, they buy second-hand cars. Mas mura kasi talaga siya. Tapos nag-i-invest ka. Kasi dati meron kaming, tawag nila doon? Carpool. Hindi carpool ba yung tawag, yung sa yung kung saan namin pinaparada lahat yung mga sasakyan, tapos mayroong hina-hire talaga na in-house na mekaniko, ganyan, kasi mas mura yon kaysa bumili ka ng second hand car. Pero maganda yung idea mo, May, na panghakot ng mga palay o kaya mga ano-ano pang mga bagay. Okay, si Melody may tinag, so maraming salamat. Si Hanilet ay from Cotabato. Wow, talaga naman. At saka si Shell ay nagsasabi na love watching daw siya. Okay, sige. So maraming salamat sa ating lahat at sana nag-enjoy kayo sa ating episode ngayong gabi. At grabe, nag-araw-araw ako na live ngayon. So siguro next week lang tayo tatlong live lang. Marami po kasing mga very interesting na guests na mga pumayag sa atin. Kaya yon, samahan niyo ako ulit sa mga susunod nating episodes dito sa Usapang Pera Live. Ako si Bernie, ako si Sir Vince dito sa Pilipinas nagsasabing ang pagyaman ay napag-aaralan. Thanks for watching. Kung may kapamilya, kaibigan o kakilala kang tingin mo ay magiging interesado dito sa video, please share to them or tag them in the comments section. Siyempre, kung nagustuhan mo ang video, pusuan mo na ito. Subscribe ka na rin. As always, feel free to write your questions, comments, and opinions respectfully.